Welcome to the show, Lemonade with the Seth brothers. I'm your host here today, Kunal, with my co-host, Smita Singh.
That's it. Wait, Kunal, you got lemons with you today.
I got lemon to make some lemonades. Here's
All
what the show is
right.
about. Life gives us lemon. What do you do with them? You make lemonade, which is whether you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or somewhere who lives and works somewhere. Life always throws us lemons, and people get discouraged, demotivated, and they struggle with that. Our objective on this show is to bring on guests, bring on entrepreneurs, bring on successful people from market. We're going to share their stories with us, not what they did to win, but what challenges they had. And this afternoon, we have Ron Rana joining us. Those of you who do not know Ron Rana, he's been on Yahoo Finance. He's an incredible leader who's brought success to thousands and thousands of people, not just in Houston, not just in Texas, but all over the country. You can't wait to see when he comes online. But Smita, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hold on. I'm going to take you back a little bit, okay? Tell me more about this lemonade stuff. I'm thinking this is like a candid happy hour where we talk about business, mentorship, and lemonade. So I'm doing this happy hour with lemonade. Today I'm having water. I better get some tangy lemonade next time. Are you
Absolutely.
ready?
Smita, here's where it
Okay,
is.
tell me more.
So you know what? We all do what we do for a living. We work hard. We have struggles and challenges. And a lot of people, when they have some curveballs thrown at them, they get beat down. And it's hard for them to get up. On this show, when we share stories of people have struggled with, whether it's the last job, last life, relationship, partnership, whatever it may be, we get some nuggets out of them and realize if you make lemonade out of things, things just get better and better. And you never know. Add some vodka to that lemonade, it gets even better.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm definitely taking away that we're going to talk about some failures and how they have turned these failures into amazing successes in their lives. And they're doing really, really well. Yes?
Absolutely.
All right. Are you ready to talk about your failures?
Oh, hell yeah. I have
Because
got...
before we get a guest on the show, I would love to talk about you. You've been an entrepreneur. Tell me more about your origin story. Tell me where you started. Tell me what's going on. When did you come to the U.S.?
Happy to share my story. So my first name is Kunal. Last name in America is Seth. But in India it's called Seth. US में आके मेरा last name उन्होंने बर्बाद कर दिया. So when I was new, came to US 20 years back, and I came here to study, go to grad school, to go to college. And somebody asked my name. I said, Kunal, last name Seth. I said, Seth? No, it's Seth. First, I had to adapt myself to learn the way to saying my name the American way. So I came to US 20 years back, went to grad school, got my master's. My first job was with a consulting company, Deloitte, accounting firm. Worked for them for several years. That's what brought me to Houston. Worked for them. I was an auditor. Then I worked for an oil and gas company, Transocean. And for all these years, I was an auditor, Smita. Tell me, who likes auditors?
We don't like auditors. We go away from auditors because they're just going to pinpoint everything that's wrong with everything. But hold on. Let me back up a little bit here. So you went to grad school and then you went to Deloitte. But tell me a failure that happened at that time which you turned into lemonade before you got into real estate. We're not even getting there yet.
Absolutely. So I don't look at failures or failure. I look at them as lessons learned in life and look back and reflect what could I have done better. So first lemon thrown at me was with Deloitte for several years, and then they had cut back in jobs. We had a lot of contracts, a lot of clients we lost. So they did cut back in resources. So I was laid off. This was back in 2016, 2017. And that was my first lemon. I said, wow, came to America, got a job, got sponsorship. Now look at me where I'm at. But I took back on my feet, found another opportunity with a company called Transocean, leading oil and gas company in the Houston market. So I don't look at life as failures or challenges. I look at them as lessons learned. That was the first one, Smita, but that was an important one. But had I been successful at my first job,
would you have stayed there?
I would have stayed there for life.
And you'd be an auditor for life. We would not know the Kunal Seth realtor. Okay. Or the entrepreneur.
Here's where it's Smita. Auditors, they don't like by anyone, and they have a guaranteed spot in hell. So I had a guaranteed spot in hell. Did that for Deloitte.
Wait, hold on. Are you redeeming yourself now?
Hey, listen, you gotta make some lemonade any point of time. So with a guaranteed spot in hell, Transocean happened, and then I said, I'm done. And I started doing real estate part-time in 2013. And with my job, I had a rotational job. I would work 1 month, get 1 month off. I would travel all over the world, Angola, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, go on a helicopter to these rigs, middle of the ocean, and do these audits. And in my time off, I said, I got to do something. I have got this fire in me. I can't sit around. Got my real estate license. I was doing it part-time, and I absolutely loved it. Did that for 6-8 months. But beginning of that year in 2013, I told my direct manager, at that time, I was making about $92,000 base salary. And being an immigrant, my mindset was, if I've come to America, I got to make that 6-figure job. In September 2013, I got my pay raise. Thankfully, I did get one. My base salary was $99,987. And I said, wow, I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar company. What is $13 to this company? But they held me back because I allowed them to determine my future and financial success. And that was a straw that broke my back. And I put my 2-week notice, left corporate America, got into real estate. And thankfully for me, my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, his name is Sonnet. His last name is also Seth in US or Seth in India. And he was a realtor for almost 25 years in Boston. Got married to my sister, moved to Houston area, and he was a realtor over here. So when I left corporate America, the two of us came together, Smita, and we made a team, and we called the team the Seth Brothers team. Have you watched that show, Property Brothers, on HGTV?
I need to go back and see it again, though. I've forgotten what they do.
Oh, they're amazing brothers. One is a realtor, the other one does flips.
Is it?
And we said, Seth Brothers sounds much better than Seth Brother-in-Laws.
Yeah.
That was how our team was born in 2014, and we have never looked back. So those were several lemons that were thrown at me, but I took each challenge and said, you know what? What do I need to do to have my own success in my own hand? And that's what I love about America. U.S. is a country where you can be a hairdresser, you can be a realtor, you can be a DJ, you can be RJ. If that's your passion, you can make that happen. Back at home where I come from in India or from Southeast Asia, India, Pakistan, these countries, you gotta be beta, doctor banjao, beta, engineering karlo, and the few fields that we are pushed to getting into. Thankfully for me, my parents did not do that. They allowed me to pursue my career that I wanted to be. Those were my lemons, Smita Singh.
That's awesome. But hold on. You're not off the hook yet.
All right.
Because you do this show called Coffee with Kunal, and you talk to everybody and you put them on the hot seat. Today, I'm putting you on the hot seat. Sounds good?
Sounds like a plan.
So tell me one particular instance in your life. Maybe let's talk about real estate, right? You've been doing real estate. Tell me one time when something came across and you were just like, okay, this is too hard for me to do. Or, well, you don't say too hard, but a challenge that you overcame and you said, you know what, I'm just going to do this no matter what happens. See, it could be a transaction, it could be anything, or maybe like right at the beginning of your career, something that you learned. Tell us one little nugget.
Sure.
Maybe a lesson learned.
Sure.
I'm not going to let you talk here. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm self-triggered, self-motivated individual. So in 2013, going back to the same story, I earned about $60,000 as a part-time realtor. And I said, if I can earn that kind of money, I'm going to quit my job and go into real estate. So in Feb 2014, I went for a conference, real estate conference.
Okay.
And based on my production 2013, I was to get an award based on my production.
Okay.
Went to Dallas statewide conference. And I said, I'm not going on stage for that level award till I achieve higher level. And this girl walked across the stage and she got RE/MAX Rising Star Award in the state of Texas. I said, what the hell is that? Came back to Houston, went to my broker at my office. I said, listen, what's that RE/MAX Rising Star Award? And how do you win that? He said, Kunal, to win that, you got to earn $250,000 and you got to do all of these things. I said, is that it? All right, I'm going to win it this year. He looked at me and said, sure.
Yeah.
Kind of smirked at me. I left that office, went to my brother-in-law, Sonnet. I said, Sonnet, this year I'm going to win RE/MAX Rising Star. And if I'm going to win that award, we are 50-50 partner. That means we got to earn over $500,000. That first year in 2014, as a team, we closed about 24 million. I did win the Remax Rising Star Award.
Nice.
So that one naysayer fired me up and said, hey, you think I can do that? I'm going to prove it to myself.
Yeah.
And came out as a winner.
That's awesome. You know what? So in our office, in the Seth Brothers office, when one of the realtors, our team members, wins a contract, we do something called a ding ding. So if I had a little bell here, I would do ding ding, but that's great, Kunal.
Absolutely. The ding ding is, we all are fired up, motivated, self-motivated people, but everybody needs some kind of motivation, excitement, and some kind of acknowledgement. So we're a, let's say, team out of Houston. Anytime any of our team members writes a contract, whether it's buyers, selling, or leasing, we literally say the word D-I-N-G, ding ding, and we say ding ding. And we shoot a quick video and talk about the win of the realtor team member, that they wrote a listing contract or a buy contract. And that gets the rest of the team fired up and say, well, he got a ding ding. Where's my ding ding? And I say, hey, listen, go sell some homes, write some contracts, and you'll get your ding ding.
That's right. So here's your ding ding for your award many, many years ago. I'm giving it to you today.
Absolutely. That was exciting. So that's
Awesome.
the story. And again, it's all about Lemonade with the Seth brothers. We're here to share our failures, our successes, that what we went through. Hopefully, some of you do not have to have the same challenges in the future.
And we do intend to share nuggets with you, life lessons with you every Tuesday, 7 to 9. So make sure you join us. And if you want to call in and share with us your failures and how you turn them into lemonade, our number here is 1-888-749-1035. Or text us. We have our phones here with us. If you're on Facebook Live, text us and share with us. We want to hear from you. Tell us what you did to overcome the challenges and what you're doing today to make your life successful. Success, the definition of success is different for everybody, right? So we're not uniform. It's not a uniform success or a monetary success. It is what you think in your eyes you have done to make it happen. And we have Ed who's telling us to move. Ed, hold on. Awesome. All right, Kunal. So tell us more. So once you joined real estate, how long have you been doing this now?
Since 2014, and we've had a lot of excitement, a lot of fun on what we do. We believe in what we do on a daily basis. It's not about getting an extra transaction or selling an extra home, but building partnership with businesses, with realtors, with organizations. And over the years, we have developed partnership with a lot of builders, developers in the Houston market, and we become preferred with them, which means a buyer goes into a sales office. Let's just say Taylor Morrison Home, Darling Home says, I want to buy a home. I have a home to sell. I'm not working with a realtor. They say, call the Seth Brothers team. So that's going to be one of the key things that we have of value. But second one, what we've done is we believe in sharing our knowledge base and expertise. And based on my ethnic background, I'm from India, I was born over there. We understand that they see culture really, really well. So about 7 years back, we developed a training program called How to Decode and Win Cultural Buyers. And me and our business partner, Sant, we travel nationwide, train builders, train realtors, and share with different strategies that were most relevant in the home buying business. For example, some buyers say they need the home to face a specific direction. They say, I got to have 2 bedrooms down, Vastu compliance. They got to have a spice kitchen or a dirty kitchen. Some of them say they've got to have a separate entrance to their home. It's complex. But more importantly, cultural buyers or Desi buyers negotiate a whole lot. So the strategy, how you work with them. So our philosophy is the more we share with the market, with realtors and other builders, salespeople, the more effective we are in our business. So that's about us. But Smita, now it's your turn.
All right. I'm on the hot seat now.
So Smita, you were, originally from India as well. You did your undergrad and high school in India, but then you moved to Scotland.
No, actually Holland.
Holland?
Yes.
Moved to Holland. Did your undergrad there. So walk us through your journey, Smita.
Well, yes. So I was born and brought up in India, and then I moved actually not to Holland at that time. I moved to Erie, Pennsylvania. So if you can think of this really like town, village, which has one movie theater in the village. It has like one pizza place, one bar, like one street that goes in. That's where I lived for 4 years in Edinburgh. And it was in a valley with tons and tons of snow for, I don't know, like 10 months in a year. I came from Delhi, and Delhi is hot. So when I reached there and I had to walk, because I was a poor college student in my undergrad, and I had to walk in the cold, I hated it, absolutely hated it. So, but I did it. I went to school 4 years, did that. And then the last semester, I said, you know what? I'm going to get a job away from away from Pennsylvania. And I got a job in Houston. I left my last semester halfway and ran over to Houston. And I did all my last exams from here. I said, okay, thank you, professors. I'm done now. I ain't coming back. So that's how I got to Houston. And yes, so I actually interned almost 3 years in Holland at that time. That's where my parents were living. And I loved it. I mean, I would go to Holland. I would come to Pennsylvania and study. And, you know, one of the things that really taught me at that time was work ethic. Because when you're a college student and you're coming as an international student, I mean, I did whatever it took to do, you know, I was a resident assistant. I was working on campus. I did whatever it took. I'm sure you did too when you were in master's, right? So I mean, that really taught me work ethic to just go out and do it. And I feel like I really bring that even now as I progress in life.
And over the years, of course, you got a job opportunity in Houston, but over the years, you've been an entrepreneur, business owner. You have had your own podcasts.
Yes.
Several of them.
That's right.
You own a few stores. So walk us through your journey being an employee, then transitioning off, and what inspired you to get in the business?
So I'll tell you, I was in oil and gas for about 6 years, and it was similar to what you said. Is I was working hard, but the vision was not mine. The vision was somebody else's. All the hard work that I was doing was for someone else. And at that time, I just wanted to do something of my own. I had that bug, the entrepreneurial bug in me. I still have it. And thanks to my husband, who really supported me. I'm sure you're there somewhere, Benny. But thanks to him, because he said, you know what, that's fine. You can leave your cushion job. Don't worry about it, and just go do what you want to do. So yeah, for the next 10 years, I owned a couple of educational center, a retail store. And as I progressed through it, I really found my calling to help women entrepreneurs. That's my jam. Like, that's what I love to do, is to help women entrepreneurs build their business. I am a full-time mom. I am a full-time real estate agent, and I love doing both. And I want to, you know, through my past 10 years of entrepreneurial journey, I really realized that women can have it all. They really can. If that's what you want to do, and there's no justification for it. There's nothing that you need to go and justify to other people. It is totally fine to be ambitious, and it is totally, totally fine to go out and have a fulfilling life. And thanks to, of course, you know, support at home and stuff, I have been able to do that. So yeah, I used to have a podcast for women entrepreneurs, and I helped women entrepreneurs start their businesses. Eventually, I got conned into getting into real estate thanks to
she
Benny.
Calls it con.
I really did. Thanks
and
to.
And this is the best thing she did. Those lemons in her lives.
That's right.
She called them conning. But Smita, you know, you undermining the podcast that you had, you actually helped influence so many successful people in our market that they still today rave about you. But when you transition from owning your own business and getting into real estate, you probably had several lemons coming your way.
Absolutely.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break.
Let's do it.
Think about those lemons. When you come back, Smita's going to share some of those lemons thrown at her. That's Lemonade with the Seth Brothers.
Invest.
Back to the show, Lemonade with the Seth Brothers. This is your host, Kunal, here with Smita Singh. Before the break, she was talking about her journey coming to America, being a 9-to-5 employee, and then being a business owner entrepreneur. And she's going to share with us some of the lemons that she got thrown at her. As she mentioned, she was in the education business. She actually had a toy store in Sugarland called Brilliant Sky. Brilliant business model, brilliant opportunity to be successful, but there were some lemons that were thrown at her. Share with us your success and your failures over there, Smita.
Sounds good. So yes, we did have, we started a retail store called Brilliant Sky Toys and Books. And honestly, I mean, I don't even know now when I think back at it. I'm like, wait, how did I run a 3,500 square foot retail store, which was a beast. With all that inventory, no retail experience, and all these employees. But I mean, it was a great experience. It was wonderful. Learned so much. I mean, just every day was a learning experience. It was great. And then I think the lemon that you're talking about that was thrown at us at that time was that at that time the business model was changing. Right. So there were a lot of, things like Amazon and Target were coming online. And because of that, so they were coming online. And because of that, retail toy stores at that time were going offline. We went through a period where I felt like, okay, this is great. It's a lot of work. So a couple of things. One, I started a business, or I wanted to be an entrepreneur so I could have more time and I could spend more time with my family. That was not happening. I still remember one Thanksgiving, and you know how retail stores are. You're working Thanksgiving, you're working Christmas. One Thanksgiving, I was working all weekend, and my son said to me, "Oh, Mom, I won't see you tomorrow because you'll be gone," right? And that totally broke my heart because I am totally, for my kids. And when he said that, I said, oh my gosh, this is not the reason why I'm doing a business. I need to have at least some time to myself. And having a retail store was hard to do. And of course, the other thing is at that time, there was the online, Amazons and Targets were coming online. And so not many people were coming out to buy toys and books. So that was a very, very hard decision for us because it was a big investment. It's easy to pivot when your overhead is low, when your investment is low. But when your overhead is high and your investment is high and you have thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars in inventory sitting there, it's hard to pivot and take that decision.
So Smita, Houston has a lot of small business owners who have retail stores selling cell phones or whatever else. What was the important lesson learned that you want to share with them?
Well, tons of lessons learned, of course, but I will say as a small business owner, especially if you have a retail store, I think it's important to be nimble, like today, especially to go with the times. Right now, a lot of people, because of COVID, because of times that are changing, eventually once everything opens up, people are still going to be in that habit of online shopping. So obviously, you have to go with the times. You have to adapt to what the market conditions, what the market trends are. And the other thing I'll tell you, which I learned over there, which I bring back with me in my real estate career, is marketing. At the end of the day, no matter what you're selling, marketing is key because that is how you get in front of people. So those are, I believe, really two things that are very, very important that you can take back with you is to innovate and stay with the trends. And then marketing is the name of the game.
100% agree, Smita. No matter what we do, if you are known, you have a better chance of being successful. So my belief system is that, if you are just an unknown entity, no matter what you do, there's a lower chance of you being successful. Now, if you want to be known, you have to put your name out there. If you put your name out there, you get known. There are some people who are going to like you and some who are not going to like you or dislike you. Then the ones who like you may potentially trust you. So you get known, some people like you, they trust you. When they like and trust you, then you have potential opportunity of them reaching out to you to doing business with you. Like Houston has 40 to 60,000 licensed agents. Dime a dozen. It does not take a whole lot to become a realtor. You can get your license done in a month or 2 months' time. But when you want to elevate your business, you have to create a brand for yourself and let the market know you're here to add value. And that's what the philosophy is, no matter what you're doing. So retail store happened. That was not a huge success for you.
Yeah.
Took some lessons learned. What was the next step in your life, Smita?
So that was where, that was a big lemon that was thrown at me and at us. So I did take a little bit of time to kind of just go in and introspect and figure out what I want to do next. And that's when a lot of people reached out to me for my experience and for everything that I learned. So I helped a lot of women. I was consulting with a lot of women to help them start their businesses. And that's when I got conned. Guys, you have to listen to this story because this is like life-changing. So one Thanksgiving, I am nicely wined and dined, and Thanksgiving feasts, right? So you have like 50 things on the table. I'm done. I'm having a great time, and then 3 people come to me: my husband, Benny, Kunal, and Sonnet, and they say to me, "We need to talk to you." I'm like, "Listen, I'm on my 3rd glass of wine. I'm like, nice. I had my pecan pie. Really, you want to talk to me now? Okay, let's go." So we went into the office and they said, "Smita, you're doing great, all of this stuff, but you've got to get into real estate." Listen, guys, I don't even watch HGTV. I'm not into decorating. Interior decorating is not my thing. But I went and I said, "Okay, tell me more, da da da." I said, "No, I'm not doing this stuff because this is not for me." I think I was there for about 45 minutes, totally got conned just to get them off my back. I said, "Yes, I'll do it," and I'm done. So that day I got out of there, thankfully. And then next day I get a call from Kunal Seth, and he says, "Smita, where's your license? Let's get your license together." I said, "Oh my goodness, fine, I'll just do this because you guys are telling me to do it." And I did it. So so I won't say this is a lemon, but that's how I got into real estate, right? I got into real estate because there were other people that believed in me. So that's number one thing. You know what? Trust people that are telling you what you're good at. I did not know because I was in my own little box and I said, "I'm not going to be good at this." 2.5 years hence, I'm great at it. I'm not trying to, I love it. Let me say that. And I'm saying that because at that time, I trusted people around me. The other thing that I'll say is until you try it, you never know what you're good at. So you know what? Say hell yes for whatever comes your way and do it.
So while we're on the show of lime and lemonade, I mean, those failures or lack of success Smita had in the previous businesses, those had actually brought her down. She said, "You know what? If I could not succeed in this and doing that, I don't have the confidence that I can be successful as a realtor," because like I said, there are 40, 50,000 of us in Houston. So having a business plan, having a game plan, having a mentor who's going to guide you, coach you, mentor you. But more than that, having a belief system in yourself allowed her to be successful. And again, numbers are numbers and they don't lie. And her production has gone up significantly. She was the top producing agents on a team. She has won several award recognition, but it came from taking the first step. When she had fallen previous businesses, had she kept laying down, she may not have taken the big step. And she took about 2 or 3 months to get your license. Or was it longer? I think you failed it 3 times, right?
Oh,
Smita?
whatever. Don't spread rumors, okay? No way. I'm like, that's it. One time, I'm done. But it took me about 2.5 months. And again, I'm telling you, I went in just because these people believed in me. And I did have the imposter syndrome because when I went in, I said, what do I know about real estate? I don't know anybody. There are so many people out there that know way more than I do. But I took the time to learn. I took the time to get the confidence. And at the end of the day, I'll tell you one more thing. A lot of people in entrepreneurship talk about fake it till you make it. I believe that it's a myth. You cannot fake it. You have got to do the hard work. I worked hard. Last year, almost every weekend, I did an open house. I did it because that's where I went out and I talked to people. I got better at my craft, my work, all of that stuff. But you cannot fake it, guys. You have got to work hard and eventually it will all come together. But if you don't do the work, it's not going to come together for you.
What's amazing is, even though we are successful in the business today, had we still been back at home, India, Pakistan, we're not called realtors, we're called property dealers.
Yep.
And they are scumbags, most of them back at home. And nobody likes them. They're there, douchebags, trying to make an extra dollar. So the perception is you don't come to America to be a realtor. You don't come to America to be a business owner, an entrepreneur, a physician, engineer. But that's what I love about America. America truly is a country where there are endless opportunities. You want to be a realtor, you want to be an agent, you want to make a life out of that, you can do that. You want to be a hairdresser, you can do that. So we are blessed that we all live in America.
Yeah.
And that's why we're successful today. With that, we're going to take a quick break, listen to some commercial, and we'll be right back with Lemonade with the Seth Brothers. Welcome back to the show, Lemonade with the Seth Brothers. This is your host, Kunal, with my co-host, Smita Singh.
Yes.
Smita, you ready for the next guest we're gonna have over here today?
I am absolutely ready.
Guys, you're in for a treat over here. We have Ron Rana joining us. Ron's story is incredibly interesting. He was born and raised in Houston, but his story has got so many people looking at him, not just in Texas, all over America. He is realtor in real estate by heart, but his passion is to help people get a lot of success. He's been on different shows, on Yahoo Finance. The list is endless. Welcome on board, Ron Rana, brother. How are you doing today?
I am good. What's going on, everybody? Ron Rana out of Houston, Texas, guys. Thank you so much. First and foremost, lemonade with the Seth brothers.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think we need to get you added onto the flyer, right?
I know, right? I'm here for the support.
You know,
He can't do the show without me.
since it's
though.
a Desi radio station, we should have called it Scunjvi with the Sweat.
Yes,
Right?
Shikanji, yes.
Scunjvi.
Yes.
Or Scunjvi, right?
That's right.
We'll get my dialect
Or
here and there.
Nibu Pani.
Or Nibu Pani.
Yes.
The good news is in order to make money, you don't need to speak that, well Urdu. So,
Right.
But like meri Urdu to achhi hai, bol leta hu. We'll get it. But guys, thank you so much for having me. It's a true honor. It's a privilege every time I do a show. But this one was really special because of you, Kunal. You're such a heavy hitter in our industry. When you called me, I said, man, I'm gonna stop the world for you. Yeah, forget about Bollywood
Thank
movies.
you, brother.
I'm gonna be dancing around trees for you.
So I was just excited, Ron, because I've never met you. But whenever I talk to you, your energy level is super high.
My
I looked into
condolences.
your
My condolences.
Listen, I deal with Kunal enough, so
Right.
I'm good there.
Awesome.
But I mean, tell me more. So I know I've seen your Facebook, I've seen
Sure.
your Instagrams, and your energy level is super high. That's how you wake up every day in the morning.
You know, in order to be a high performance individual, you just gotta always live and breathe high performance, right? There's no such thing as having our gas tank on E. If you my employees call me at 3 a.m. like, hey, what's going on? They're like, what the hell is wrong with you, Ron? Why are you so excited? Man, I'm just excited to be alive. Any day above ground is a great day, and that's all it is. I'm excited to share my story with you guys.
Yes.
I'm excited to share a lot of my successes with you guys. Most of all, I'm excited to share my failures, because if it wasn't for my failures, I wouldn't have been able to respect my success.
Yeah, we're calling them challenges.
Next 30 to 40 years for a pension, right? And that's one of the rat traps that I kind of got stuck into also. Although I had the freedom to, again, single mother, can you imagine, Desi Londa, you know what I mean? Single mother, you going out partying,
Yeah.
all that. I didn't take any of that. My biggest motivation was to retire my mother. And again, doing that in this industry is such a blessing. And in our culture, being of South Asian culture and Indian and Pakistani culture, maa ki duaein to lagti hain.
Right.
100%. I can guarantee you guys that, right? And of course, big shout out to Kinza, my wife. She's the backbone of my success, and my 3 beautiful boys who are at home. And I told her, hey, I'm going on the radio station. She said, yeah, let me know how it goes. But she's so used to me being interviewed, right? It's kind of like those Bollywood's wives don't go to award parties anymore. I'm like, I'm gonna get interviewed. She's like, oh, Kunal's gonna be there. I'm tuning in. So my wife is tuning in just because of you.
Awesome.
All right. So.
So let's back up a little bit here. So
Yes.
how did you get into real estate?
I'll be.
Or was that your first ever job?
No, it wasn't.
Okay,
I've
okay.
been through a lot of hurdles, and I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations throughout my life to get to this journey, right? To get to this place that I am in life, So when I first started out at 16, 17, I got a job at Pizza Hut. My mom worked at Pizza Hut for 27 or 28 years, raising us. So first thing what I did was got a job at Pizza Hut, started flipping, I went from flipping dough to flipping houses. So that's kind of, now we make the real dough.
Yeah.
So, but it's such a blessing to be able to go from there. And then, Best Buy, once upon a time, there was Fry's Electronics.
Yeah.
I worked there for a little bit. So I've always been a salesman at heart, but my true background comes from the car business. I was 11 years in the auto industry.
Okay.
I started off in sales, worked up the corporate ladder. And I thought that, if I was going to become a manager one day, that would lead me to having financial success. And boy, was I wrong. Because I was making someone else rich and wealthy at the end of the day, right? And being of our culture, I wasn't handed down a gas station. No offense to anyone who's handing down their kids' gas stations on the
Sure.
radio. I wasn't handed down. I wasn't handed down hotels or motels, right? Shout out to the Patels for all the hotels and motels, But again, I had to find my way in life. So there's a saying. Bernard Clive says this, and he says, hire people to build your dreams. Otherwise, somebody will hire you to build theirs.
Yeah.
But this was all a part of my journey. Being in the car business for 11 years taught me how to build rapport, how to like people, how to be likable, and how to negotiate. You know, it's funny because our culture teach right when you come out of into the world, you're negotiating, right? We're the kings of negotiating. Like Indian and Pakistani people. Oh no, that no.
What are you gonna do for me?
Exactly. And being in real estate, right? I'm not paying you 5%. I'm gonna pay you that 1%.
Correct.
Right. So you guys feel that, right? So I get it. And then I'm not a realtor for a reason. Now, full disclaimer, I love realtors. I'm not a realtor by choice. Nothing about ethics. My company, Investopia Online, is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. But I give it up to you guys. You guys deal with so much shenanigans of people, right? And I just couldn't do that. I just have a short circuit, and I want the shortcut to everything. Shortcut
We
to
sell
success.
one home at a time. Ron Rana comes in. We buy these 50 homes at the same time. This whole apartment complex, whole shopping, and let's just flip it. And
Yes.
that's where wholesaling comes in.
That's where wholesaling comes in. Wholesaling is a phenomenal, tool. And what we do is we actually flip the contract on a property. So we get a property under contract, right? So say if a house is worth, I have a house that's worth 100 grand. I bought that contract for $80,000. I sold it to you as an investor. How much did I just make? I sold it to you for $90,000. How much did I just make? A $10,000 fee, right? Which you have to understand, I'm not doing $10,000 in like months. I'm doing this within a few days. Like this is, we have some months where we're doing $100,000 revenue. Last year,
That's fantastic.
Investopia Online, we did a little over $4 million.
Wow.
That's absolutely amazing. But
Without
I
a
need to go
license.
back though.
Incredible.
Without a license.
And the headaches.
And the headache. Well, we have our
Hey,
headaches.
but you have the bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of dealing with small.
So to go back to what
Let's go back to
Smita
that.
said,
Yes, the
what-
car sales
Right.
area. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So what happened next?
So the reason why I got into car sales was because the guys who were wearing the suits and the watches were car sales guys. So I'm like, man, what are these guys doing? Either the drug dealers or either they're, what are they doing, right? And I ran into one day and it's like, I work at a dealership and I'm selling 20 cars a month and I'm making 10 grand and blah, blah, blah. And at that time, that sounded like a lot of money. Imagine, I'm 18 years old. I was working at, Pizza Hut and Fry's and Best Buy and whatever, doing these little odd jobs, right? And I'm like, oh, $10,000 sounds like a lot of money to me, right? Which is, in hindsight now, it's crazy where we've come in the journey. It's just absolutely amazing, thank the Lord. But at that time, it sounded like a lot of money to me. So I said, okay, well, let me go be a car salesman. Next thing I knew, I was a snake oil salesman. Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you like leather, you like the clock. Oh, we're gonna clock them in the finance box, right? You send them into finance, and so eventually.
So you did all the where you sit
I
there
did.
and then you say, hey, I'll be right back. I'm
I
gonna go
did.
check with the manager.
Let me go get my manager, yeah.
And then go talk and then say, sorry, we can't do this
Yes.
anymore. Okay, so you've done all of that.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's where real estate started. I had a client come in and a beautiful, shiny red Ferrari. And I'm like, man, I'm a car guy. I like his Ferrari.
Yeah.
He comes out of his vehicle, is buying a car, and he says, and I asked him after talking a little bit back and forth and getting him what he needed as far as his buying a car and all that good stuff. I said, what do you do for a living? And you know what he says? He goes, I'm a real estate investor. It sounded like he just won the Nobel Prize. I'm like, God, what? He's
What
like,
do you
yeah,
do?
yeah.
I wanna do
I'm
that.
a real estate investor,
Investor,
Ron.
right?
I flip houses and I flip this. Man, I always wanted to get into that. What exactly?
How old were you back
Tell
then?
me more. So back then, I was. I remember when I met him, I was around 21 or 22.
Wow.
But remember, I didn't get into real estate until years later.
Sure.
So I was always looking at real estate when I was like 16. Those infomercials. Hey, get started in real estate for $39.99 and blah blah blah. I bought those courses. I still have video cassettes of individuals.
Wow.
So it was in my blood. Like I've always wanted to get into real estate, and the reason why your question was why real estate is to buy back time for my family. Because when I was in the car business, I was time poor. There's two types of people in this world. You're either time poor or you're money poor. The person who has time doesn't have money. The person who has money doesn't have time.
Yep.
Right? So I was, of course, at that point when I was at the dealership, I was time poor because, I thought making 100 grand a year as a sales manager was a lot of money. But shit, real estate, man, we're killing
Right.
it. It's ridiculous. Monthly.
Correct.
It's crazy, right? But at the end of the day, I wanted to build my own business, and I wanted to do it as a legacy for my family, because being raised by my single mother, she always taught me the rule of ethics. Hey, whatever you do in life, make sure that you're sincere with people, you know, halal ki kamai ho, right?
Right.
Of course,
Right.
I don't want to see you going out selling drugs or anything like that, and blah blah blah. So, but I've had other entrepreneurial ventures too. You know, I ran a DJ company for 10 years.
A DJ.
Nice.
Yeah, so you know BJ Josan. Yeah,
Yes.
Shout out to my boy BJ. So yeah, we ran a
BJ's
whole.
incredible.
Yes,
He's an amazing
he is.
guy. So
Yes.
so we did a lot of stuff together. But anyways, long story short, yeah, I was where you know everything is at your fingertips. Electronics are at your fingertips. Now, if it's real estate, if you decide to go into real estate, if you decide you want to go to Bitcoin, or if you want to, you know, create a YouTube channel, you can go out and do that, right? But the problem with our society, the biggest three, I would say the biggest three words that shouldn't be said in our culture is, and they're the most dangerous words, is lo kya kahenge,
Okay, correct.
right?
Absolutely right.
That was deep, right?
Absolutely right.
Log kya kahenge.
Yeah.
What are people gonna say about me? And when I got into this industry,
It's an everyday thing, you know
oh,
that,
absolutely,
right? Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
It is. When I got into this industry, the same thing. People were talking. People were saying, "Hey, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that." And sometimes in our culture, our family doesn't support us. Your biggest supporters become sometimes your biggest haters.
Yeah.
Right? Because why? Because they've seen you grinding the pavement. They've seen you come from nothing. Right? So at the end of the day, I think that's kind of what it is. We need to start nurturing our youth, and we need to start nurturing this generational gap that we have between the Gen X to the millennials.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's kind of, and I'm going to talk a little bit more.
Let's pause there really quick, Ron, because I want to dig more deeper into it. We'll go into a commercial break, but tell me more how you got over that log kya kahenge
Sure.
mindset.
All right, coming back in a few minutes. Back with Lemonade with the Seth brothers and Ron Rana in the house. See you back in a few, guys. With the Seth brothers, and we have Ron Rana here with us, who's sharing his story about Log Kya Kahenge.
Yes.
And that's Ron Rana, who's been on Yahoo Finance, super successful person, great, incredible story. Let's talk about that. Log Kya Kahenge, Ron Rana.
Absolutely. Logo ka kaam hi kehna hai. That's all it is.
That's a song about that.
There is.
Was it Muhammad Rafi or was it Kishore Kumar?
It could be.
I can't sing for Adams, but it's something like.
I have no idea. Maybe somebody can write on it. There you go.
कहना छोड़ो कल की
There you go.
बातें and blah blah blah. All right, back
I
to
think
Ron.
you just mixed two songs here, by the way.
I think I did.
I think you did.
And that's what we do over here, right?
That's right.
You gotta have, you make lemons out of lemonade.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right? Lemonade out of lemon. So.
But tell us more.
Sure. So absolutely. So you know the thing is, again, before the break, I was talking about some of the most dangerous words in our culture is lo kya kahenge. You know, the thing is with our society, it's kind of like a bucket of crabs. You know, when you have an idea, when you have a, you have something that you want to do in life, you share it with the closest people near you, right? And the closest people near you sometimes are not wishing you the best,
Yep.
right? It's kind of like a bucket of crabs, right? When one crab starts going up, you start getting pulled down by the others, right? And that's one of the huge enigmas or stigmas, in our Desi culture society. No matter if you're Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, South Asian, no matter what you are, it's just a part of it, right? But when someone else does it, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, he did it. But then when you do it, oh, I always knew he was gonna make it.
Correct.
That's all. I always knew he was gonna. It's always that one chacha, mama, ya uncle
Yeah.
who says,
I knew.
"Tenu kuch nahi aanda, kar le tu, jo bhi karna hai," right? And there goes my Punjabi a little
Yeah.
bit. Right, so but at the end of the day, oh, mainu pata si tu kar lega, right? Like you're gonna be able to do
They're
it.
right either way.
They're right either
Whether
way.
you win or lose, I knew what was going to happen.
Exactly.
And that's a cultural thing where they want us to be successful, but inherently they see the Southeast Asians are risk averse.
Yep.
Take the path of least resistance. That's what
Yes.
water does. Goes on a path, least resistance keeps flowing. That's what they want us to do. But that's not why we came to America. I know you were born here, but we were
Right.
not born here. We didn't come to America to have a safe life. We came here to make the best of every day.
Right.
And that comes to taking risks, taking challenges on and saying, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes and allow myself to have exponential success. So car business started off, someone tells you, I'm in a Ferrari, I'm a
Real estate investor. Yes. So.
That got you intrigued, but
Yeah.
you started doing DJing with DJ BJ.
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
some dough for 10 years. That's when Energy 11 went over. When did you actually jump into the business, Ron?
So I jumped into the business probably about 4.5 years ago. So it's been a short period of time, but it feels
Wow.
like it.
4.5 years?
Yeah.
Seems like decades.
I've
Yeah.
made so much noise in the industry where people are like, hey, you've been doing this for 10 years, 9 years. No, it's been only 4.5 years. But when I came in, again, I had to make a big splash, and I had to come in and tell everybody who I was. At the end of the day, right? I wasn't going to be the pushed around brown kid. I wasn't going to be, the Desi Londa on the street or the Desi kid on the street and say, hey, let's push him around, right? Because this industry is full of sharks, let's face it, right? That's not to negate anybody from getting into this industry. No matter what business you get into, there's always going to be sharks, right? But the one thing that I liked about real estate investing or real estate in general was the abundant mindset. Everybody wants you to grow in this industry, right? So I took that and I took full advantage of it. And once I was able to do that, now I give so much back to the community, because it's not about what you keep, it's about what you give back. That's going to be your legacy.
Yep,
right. We talked about the show earlier on where if you want to be successful, you have to be known.
Yes.
A lot of people don't want to be known because, if I put myself out there driving the nicest car, having success, look at
Nazar lag jayegi.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure your mom said, my parents say that, Kunal, don't overshow your success. It's not because we are trying to demonstrate that we are successful. It's about demonstrating to the market that we are here to make a difference.
Yes.
Right? And we take the risk of letting people know.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Then people are going to either like you or dislike you. It's going to happen. The people who like you and trust you.
Yeah.
And that's a part of get known. People like you and then trust you. But it's not easy.
It's not.
A lot of naysayers, a lot of haters. What's funny is, I'm sure there are people who like and love us watching us. A lot of people don't like us watching us as well.
Absolutely.
ये कर क्या रहा है Ron Rana? ये कुणाल कर क्या रहा है? स्मिता क्या कर रही है?
Hey, we're
That's
making
okay.
lemonade, guys.
And that's okay.
We're
It's
making
okay.
lemonade.
We're here to share. So share with us a big nugget early on that you got, because 4.5 years is a short period of time to get the level of success you have today. But a lot of curveballs must have been thrown at you,
Yes, there was.
challenges and lemons.
Yep.
Share with us some of the lessons learned, Ron.
Yeah, coming into the industry, I made friends with people who I thought were my friends. It came to turn out they were, I was either backstabbed. At one point, somebody actually took my entire company. They poached my acquisition guys, my sales guys. I was we're office out of the energy corridor. This was just a few years back. So someone who I called my friend in this industry, actually got very close to a lot of my team members, got very close and started poaching, people. And that's where, I've learned my lesson too. That was one of the biggest lessons that I learned was, yes, you can give, but at some point, you've got to know your boundaries too, right? Because people will suck you dry. It takes a lot of energy for me to get, 100,000 plus social media followers. It's a lot of energy for me to have a presence online, right? But for someone to come and take that away from me, that hurt. Now you took food out of my kid's plate, and I got a problem with that. So at the end of the day, I didn't do this business to be likable. I'm lovable. Everyone loves me in this industry,
Sure.
right? But I came in to make money, not friends, right? So, but along the way, you do meet people who you are going to make your friends, and eventually they turn out to be your family. But that was one of the biggest lessons was, I trusted someone close enough to me, and then boom, and it's very common in this, to be honest, it's very common in this industry where people will poach your people and stuff like that. I didn't know at that time,
Right.
but I'm sitting there in my office, my entire sales team is gone, I'm sitting in an 1,800 square foot office, I've got rent due next week, and I have no salespeople. What am I going to do?
Wow.
We had something similar happen to us when we transitioned. I'll share in a few minutes, but that was a lemon.
Yeah.
Your employees, team members taken away. What was your biggest takeaway? What did you adapt or change after that incident, Rob?
I absolutely had to adapt. Not only adapt, I pivoted, right? I pivoted my business model, because that's what successful people do. Successful people don't fail and quit,
Yep.
right? When we get hit down, we get back up and say, punch me harder, right? I'm not gonna stay down. So I wasn't gonna stay down regardless. So long story short, after that, I launched my podcast, the Real Estate Anarchy podcast. We continued with our networking events in Houston, because people thought Ron Rana was dead. He was done. He
So
was
you doubled down, basically.
I tripled down, I quadrupled down. And as soon as COVID hit, we all went virtual, and our business, literally overnight, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, my business in general, I'm talking about doubled and tripled in revenue. Because I was no longer worried about the overhead, the employees and coming in. My employees are at home, they're relaxing, they're making calls from home now, they're not sitting in traffic anymore, right? So it's kind of a blessing at one point too. So, but yeah, I definitely pivoted and adapted in that situation.
That's wonderful. I think that's one of the key lessons we were talking about earlier too, is to pivot and adapt and innovate
Yes.
based on how the market is going. You were sharing a story with us, Kunal.
we had a few lemons thrown at us as well. So we were a big successful team with the previous brokerage. 2018, we made the decision of leaving and moving on to a new one called EXP. That's where we're at right now. And at that time, we had 12 or 14 team members. And when we were transitioning, leaving and joining the new brokerage, most of our team members stayed back. We left with 5 team members: Sonnet, myself, 2 admin operations staff, and 1 agent who was expecting a baby. So almost she was maternity leave. And we leased 6,400 square feet space in Shogun for our next office. And people said, these guys are gonna crash and burn. They're leaving this brand, going to the next one, they're gonna fail. That year in 2018, our team did about 68, 69 million in sales volume. We closed about 210, 220 units. And we left that brokerage, moved to the new one, EXP. We had to rebuild the whole team, rebuild the whole organization. We remodeled the whole office. And that year in 2019, by the end of the year, we were 22 or 23 team members. We closed 86 million, which was 24% more than what we closed the previous year. And we were unstoppable. So we had the mindset, we were focused on our winning. And you should Google search this or YouTube search it. You know, Michael Phelps, the Olympian swimmer, there is a shot when he's swinging to the finish line and he's focused on the finish line. And the person who came second had his head turned looking at Michael Phelps. Guess what he was focused on? He was focused on the winner, but the winner is focused on the winning. So that's what we focused on. And that's what Ron shared. We're gonna have adversities, failures, and all those things. If you have your eyes focused on what you want to accomplish, you are unstoppable.
Yeah.
And with that, we're gonna stop for a break. Because this is Lemonade with the Seth brothers. We'll be right back after a few messages. Back with Ron Rana on Lemonade with the Seth brothers. This is Kunal with my co-host Smita Singh and I guess Ron Rana.
Listen, this is what happens when we do the radio show for the first time. Because Kunal is like, wait, are we ready now?
Smita Singh, excuse me, that may be your first time. I do this in my sleep.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
So Ron, you were talking about Lemonade in life and what you accomplished all these years. What we really want to set apart is you are very determined, motivated, and self-driven human being. Where did you get the fire from? Is it your mom? Is it your kids? Is it your wife? Something behind you has to be pushing on a daily basis.
You know, Kunal, that's a great question you just asked me. You know, can I be really honest with you guys?
Yes, please.
I am one of the most successful failures. I have failed.
Successful
I love
failures.
that.
I have failed over and over and over and over and over again in order to get to where I am today. And I still have a long way to go. My journey is not done yet. I'm not comfortable. I'm not content. I'm always going to stay hungry. But like I said before, I'm the most successful failure, and our failures teach us how to get back up.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot from those failures, and I've failed a lot. I've been knocked down and I've got right back up, right? So where I get my motivation from is all the above, like you just said, right? But at the end of the day, I made a promise to the man in the mirror. When I wake up every single day, I look myself in the mirror and I ask myself, right, are you gonna go out there and are you gonna get it? It's called affirmations. A lot of our society doesn't teach this. So when I started studying successful people, they started talking about the law of attraction. They started talking about affirmations. You have to remember, I'm a kid from A-Leaf with no financial backing. I have no godfather. I have no, financial father in my life, right? Or I did have my father's still alive, guys. Don't get me wrong. Like, my dad's not dead, but they're just separated, right? But when my dad was in my life, he did give me tidbits of nuggets and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if I cannot motivate myself, how am I going to motivate the audience? How am I going to motivate you guys? How am I going to motivate my kids? It all begins with me. And that's what I want to definitely tell your viewers. If you're thinking about getting started in real estate investing, you need to do it for you. Right? Sometimes you just have to be selfish. Hey, I'm doing this for me. If I'm right now at 8 o'clock doing a radio interview with you guys, my wife knows this is for us now, right? But in the beginning, it's the dream, right? It goes from one dream and it becomes our dream.
So true,
right?
Ron,
As a couple.
Where you have your own self-drive, self-motivation, but there has to be someone behind you who puts the hand behind saying, you know what, honey, I got your back. So for me, it's been my wife, John.
Yeah.
And in 2013, when I was successful in corporate America, making good money, and I said, hey, listen, I want to leave corporate America, get in real estate. She said, if that's what you want to do it. Absolutely, yes. My parents, beta, are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
Right, you came to America, master's degree, and while they do support me, everything that I do, but there was a concern as a caring parent, as a culture that we come from. But had my wife had some kind of hesitation that, Kunal, are you sure? We just had this incident, that incident. Do you really want to take the dive? I may have had second thoughts, but I'm self-driven. But that factor, having a wife to say, yes, I believe in you, do what you got to do, made who I am today.
You know, and that's powerful. When I started this business, it's very similar to yours. When I started this business, I started out of a one-bedroom apartment.
Wow.
I started out of an apartment, and now we flip apartments. That's blowing my mind, right? But I started this business the same way, kind of like what you did. You know, towards my 11th year in the business, I was missing birthdays, I was missing anniversaries, I was missing time with my kids, I was missing the davats and Eids, and you know, we want to go play dandiya. I can't do that. Like I'm so used to like going out and hanging out with my friends, right? Again, right? It comes down to responsibilities too. And when I sat down with my wife on our dinner table, and I told her, you know, I'm thinking about quitting the car business, and she says, you know, I'm gonna support you regardless. She didn't know I was gonna quit the next day, cold turkey. I was thinking about it. Now, I do not advise anyone quitting the next day cold turkey with no mentor. I didn't have any financial backing, anything like that. But I'm the type of person who, if I did have financial backing, I would have laid back to that. And that's the problem with our society. We become so dependable on to our children, right? Mom and dad is gonna bail me out. Oh, I just wrecked $100,000, you know, Lambo. Mom and dad's gonna buy me another one, right? Oh, I just did this. Mom and dad's gonna bail me out at the end of the day, right? I didn't have that, unfortunately, right? And I do say it fortunately, because if I did, I wouldn't be the success that I am today.
What I'd say, Ron, is, you know, I truly believe that when you come to America, we all have an immigrant's mindset.
Yes.
Which is we take nothing for granted. Every day is a strive for struggle. And some of us have been first generation, second generation, third or fourth generation American. And when you get far apart from when you came to America, father, grandfather, great-great-grandfather, get unplugged, you take things for granted. You know what, I'm gonna get what I wanna get. Now coming to America, where they came 20 years back, great-grandfather came in. Whoever came in first, they've gone through a struggle because nobody comes to America with a pot of gold or a bag of cash. They have to make what they have to do today. So I tell all my friends, co-workers, if you unplug with the immigrant's mindset, talk to somebody with a first generation immigrant and ask them what it took for them to come to this country. Standing in line for a visa, or coming to America for work, whatever it may be. And they take nothing for granted. That's why you're sharing where, had you had financial success, you may not have been against the wall, where you may have taken it easy and may not have strived for that excellence. So you share with us and at table, tell your wife, honey, I'm done.
So you have to remember, I walked away from a 401k.
Wow.
I walked away from health insurance.
Wow.
I walked away from practically not like the whole shebang, right? Because at that time, I thought making 100 grand or 200 grand a year was a lot of money. So I'm living comfortably. We are living comfortably at the end of the day, as so we thought. When I started dealing with high net worth individuals who are worth 40, 50, 60 million dollars, that's not comfortable. That's weekend money.
But let me stop you there for a quick second. I mean, I'm really seeing a common thread over here. You had a cushion job, like 401k, and your spouse said, you know what, that's fine, go ahead, take the leap and do that. Kunal, you did the same thing. Mai did the same thing. I had a cushion job, 401k, everything. And Betty said, you know what, just go for it. Do what you want to do. I think this is such an important lesson, or such an important thing for families that are struggling, are wanting to be entrepreneurs, to have that, you know, that mindset, to have that support system. Because without that support system, there's only that much you can go.
100%.
After that, it's how much are you going to push and pull, right? It's, what is that thing that you say, Kunal? You can take the horse to the water, but you can't salt the hay.
You can't force it to drink.
That's right.
Yes.
So without that support system, you can only go that far.
Yes.
So I guess to all the spouses and support systems out there, you know, if you have an entrepreneur in the house, you know that you have the bug, support them.
100%.
Absolutely. And you know what happens is when you are doing something as a side gig or part-time, you cannot be 100% successful. You gotta give 100% to something.
You've gotta go all in.
You gotta go all in. When
in.
you have a safety net, अच्छा ये नहीं हुआ तो ये कर लेंगे या मेरी ये job है ये saving है, well, cut off all the safety nets. Have no plan B. When you have no plan B, that's where you come out. So when I left, I was 3.5 to 4 months away from 5 years in the previous company. I would have been vetted for life, for pension, but I was done. I said, I'm done working with somebody else, and I left corporate America to get in real estate about 6-7 years back. But that was it. No plan B, no safety net. And it takes a lot of courage to do that. So you got into business, wholesaling. Walk
No,
us the
so
next
hold
step.
on. Why not real estate? Like, why not a real estate agent? How wholesaling? I'm
Smita,
really curious.
leave some homes for me to sell.
I'm really curious.
Let Ron Rana sell wholesale. Let me be the realtor here.
He ain't getting into real estate.
Are you tired of making 3%?
No. Let's do this.
Do you want to make 100%
Let's
of your?
do it.
Right?
I'm gonna be calling you tomorrow, Ron.
Yes.
Let's talk more.
Oh,
No, but
absolutely.
but tell us.
Tell us what.
Tell us why not real estate? Like, why did you not get into as a real estate agent versus wholesaling? What made you take a different path in real estate?
Okay, so can I be really honest with you guys?
Yes.
I was not a good student in college. I could not sit in Champion School of Real Estate for hours and hours and learning that.
So you were just lazy and you didn't want to take your real estate license?
No, I'm not lazy, because if I was lazy, I wouldn't be
Here,
this. I wouldn't be here, right? Now, I had my laziness was calculated,
Right.
At the end of the day. So, but I didn't want to sit in a classroom and go through that journey like a lot of you guys did. And that's okay. There's some people out there who are listening to this show right now and saying, hey, maybe I don't want to be an agent. Maybe I just want to flip real estate, or because you don't need a license, you don't need any experience, right? And of course, I do strongly urge you get a mentor. That's one thing. That's one of the things I did, Kunal. So that's one thing I did, was get a mentor. And I knew in order for me to be successful, I had to copy and paste somebody, because there's a saying, don't reinvent the wheel.
Yep.
Right? I didn't reinvent the wheel. I just took the wheel and I made it better. And I made it
agree
raw.
with you, where having a license is just a piece of paper.
And it's
But
just
the
a
key
piece of
thing is,
paper,
we
yeah.
are in the real estate business.
Yes. Mhm.
Whether you're selling a home, wholesaling, lending business,
Yes.
inspection, home warranty, lending, it does not matter. I
Yeah.
truly believe this business of real estate, it can be duplicated anywhere
Yes.
in the globe, anywhere
Yeah.
in the country, anywhere in the world. And that's one skill set. But more importantly, license or no license, your goal was to get financial success.
Remember, I told you
That's
I
the
wanted,
bottom
to be,
line.
I wanted to be my own boss.
Yeah.
So if I hung my license, no offense,
Right.
Seth brothers, if I hung my license, I'd have to check in with Kunal every other day.
You're answerable to someone,
Yeah,
whether it's your
exactly.
team lead or broker owner.
And that's okay, because some people are not leaders. They're not born leaders. Some people are followers, right? And that's okay. But somebody like me, or somebody like an Elon Musk, or somebody like a Jeff Bezos, or somebody ultra successful, they're not good students. If you go and look in history, Isaac Newton wasn't a good student at all, right? If you look at history, right? Yes, Einstein was smart, but I mean, probably was a good student, but they told him he wasn't smart enough. But some people who are not street smart are book smart, and some people who are book smart, they're street smart. I'm street smart.
Right.
My wife is book smart, so I took advantage of her being smart, right? So, long
You
story
said,
short,
honey, do you do the reading and then just give me a summary?
just tell me what.
And then I'll go out and get this done.
Give me the cliff notes, right? But at the end of the day, I couldn't show 20 houses and then that person just say, hey, I'm gonna buy it from my cousin. So I give it up to you guys. I couldn't do that.
So, Ron, people watching us, listening to us today, most people don't understand the mechanics of one-on-one of being a wholesaler.
Okay.
Yes.
What does it take? Walk us through the process.
Yes.
Ron.
Let's dive in.
Let's do this.
So in order for me to pivot and adapt, right, and we spoke a little bit about that earlier on, is that, during the pandemic, and at this point, I'm still successful regardless. So a lot of people kept asking me and telling me, Ron, you need to get into education. You should be a mentor. Because I was doing this for free. Like I was just giving nuggets and YouTube followers and social media and stuff like that. So then I'm like, okay, well, yes, I'm still giving it away for free, right? But now if people start investing into their education, they're gonna take it a lot more seriously. Right? It's just like an education, a college, you get it for free, you don't value it much. But
Right.
when you work for that education, you value that degree more, right? So long story short, I jumped into education. I started mentoring and I started coaching people. I have some students now within a short period of time doing easy over 100,000 a month in revenue without a license, without being a realtor, without having experience, without using their own credit or money. And we teach people this every single day, because you have to remember, I don't just teach this, I live it. I'm closing deals at title companies too, right? Now there are some people who are in this industry who just teach. They're called gurus, right? Hamare mein to guru hai, right? In our culture, guru means like the God teacher,
correct.
right? But in real estate, it's like, oh, it's like a cuss word, like, oh, he's a guru,
Right.
And when I got into this business as an educator, everyone looked at Ron Rana like, oh, okay, so Ron thinks he's gonna coach now, right?
Yeah.
And long story short, who knew I could be such an amazing teacher? I've got realtors who are my students. I don't know if you know Sadaf and her husband. She did a $70,000 flip profit. She's
Wow.
one of my students. She did that within a month period.
So what you're saying is,
so I have students doing deals all over the country, just like
you
this.
could be a realtor,
Yes.
or not a realtor,
Yes.
licensed, no licensed, you could still be a wholesaler.
I love working with realtors. You know, I'm not a realtor, but I love working with realtors. Number one thing is ethics. That's if you have ethics, realtors, some realtors don't have ethics. Let's face it, right? But the ones that I coach and mentor and the ones that I handpick have the ethics, and they come up and they want to learn this business, right? At the end of the day, because it's always good not to always have all of your eggs in one basket. You don't just want to be a one-trick pony, right? You want to be a realtor, you want to be a wholesaler. Now, what does a wholesaler do? A wholesaler goes out and looks for distressed properties. When I say distressed properties, have you guys ever driven around and you've seen a boarded up house? You've seen tall grass, you've seen the mailbox full?
Yeah.
Right? Don't ever drive by that house again. Send me that address, because I'm
That's Ron Rana.
I'm gonna make 40 or 50 grand off of that deal, and I'll give you $1,000 commission.
Sure.
That's what realtors like, right? No, but again, don't pass up those houses, because what we do is we skip trace those properties. Now, what is skip tracing? Skip tracing is a tool used by federal agencies. Now it's available to the public, right? We find out the owner's name, their address, their living address. We send them a postcard. We do different marketing tactics. So, right, we try to get in front of the seller and said, hey, I'll buy your house cash as is, no realtor commissions, right? And a lot of people find that appeasing. They're like, oh, I don't have to pay realtor commissions. I don't have to wait 30 days. I can close my house in 2 weeks. Okay, Ron, give me a cash deal. So that's what we do. So what I do is I take a document, I pull up a contract, okay, and once I get the property under contract, you have to remember the term is equitable interest. I'm not flipping the property, I'm flipping the contract, okay? And these properties, we're getting under contract for $10. That is it. I bring my car sales negotiation skills into the mix, and I teach my students, I teach my staff how to get properties under contract for $10. That's it,
Wow.
right? So people go into contract with us. So say I've got a property now for $10, right? I'm gonna ask 90 grand for that property. I got it under contract for 70. The house, the ARV, which is what the house is gonna be worth after we repair that house, right? Is gonna be around about 170, 180 grand. And the house is situated in Alief. Let's pick a neighborhood. Alief's a great market, right? For single family homes, blue collar, community. So what we do is we basically bring a deal to a cash buyer. We solve the problem of the seller, because that seller could be going through a divorce. That seller could be going through a distress situation, a death. That seller could be going through a probate, right? There's so many situations, and we come in to solve their problems, because not a lot of people can wait 30, 60, or 90 days for the house to go on the market, and then most people don't want to pay commissions. We don't charge commissions to do what we do.
So how do you
long
find the
story
buyer
short,
then?
we go, that's what I teach my course,
Got it.
right? Kunal, cut the check.
That's the secret sauce.
Right? So I'll tell you guys how you can get started too. But we teach people the ethical way to do this. Let me go back to my story. I got the property under contract for how much?
$10.
70.
70,000, yes.
I got the property under right? I got the contract for $10.
Contract with 10,
Right.
Purchase price.
You
or
can put
contract
any price.
$70,000, okay.
Right, 70,000.
Yep.
I had that property under contract for 70K. I sold it to you for 90K. It took me about 5 hours worth of work total, front and back. How much did I just make?
A lot of money.
$20,000.
Yeah.
No, $20,000.
Right.
That is to some people that's life-changing money.
Yeah.
Right? And you take that, now you got your fee. The buyer who's happy, he got a great deal, right? And he's gonna go and flip it, make his profits, and that's that. And wholesaling is completely ethical, it's completely legal, and there's nothing that can stop you. I know in the Houston market for sure. Chicago, there's been some red taping here and there, but that's because of the wholesaling ethics down there and the realtors and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's legal. You can do this from the comfort of your own home, and we call it Wi-Fi money, because all you need is a Wi-Fi connection. Yeah.
I like that.
It's Wi-Fi money. So, I mean, it's ridiculous what we're doing, but it's so awesome, because when we help that seller, her husband passed away and she has money now to move. We have some sellers who are wanting to pay for college for their kids, right? We come in, so we're basically providing a solution to these people at the end of the day. I'm not a money hungry wolf that's going after people who are naive, No, we're here to solve a problem. We see your pain point. What is your pain point, Mr. Seller? And then I connect you with a cash buyer, okay? And I teach my students how to build a cash buyer's list, how to find investors, just like yourself, Kunal, because you're buying properties right now too, Kunal, right? Perfect. A viewer can literally go out and get the course and sell a deal to Kunal because Kunal is flipping houses in the Houston market. That's it, right? And he doesn't mind paying 50 or 60 grand, right? So now, not every deal is $50,000 or $60,000. Right. Now you have to remember, Kunal, right? And the thing is, even if I'm making $5,000, $10,000 on a deal, but I've only worked 2 hours for that deal. Time spent.
Correct.
Right? Real estate always charges you for your time. That's it.
So why do you have a secret sauce? How to flip these, find the opportunity instead of holding it back? You have the abundance mindset. He said, let me go out teach people how to be effective in wholesaling and teach my secret sauce. So when you come back after the break, we want to share in detail what 100%. Your class program is and share with the audience and listeners over here. So guys, you're watching and listening to Lemonade with the Seth Brothers. We'll be back in a few minutes.
All right. We are ready on air with the Lemonade with the Seth Brothers. And guys, we're talking about lemons. So we would love for you to share with us what lemons were thrown at you and how you made some tangy, delicious lemonade out of it. So call us at 1-888-749-1035 and we're waiting for your call. So let's get back to Ron. Ron, tell us, as you've been going through the 4.5 years of wholesaling, talk to us and walk us through one particular transaction that you're like, oh my goodness, why am I in this? But when you got out, you're like, damn, I learned something great.
Okay, yes. So this was a transaction. I do remember this deal very clearly because I had to go somewhere where I've never been in my entire life, and that's jail.
Oh!
And I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna tell you this story.
Were you visiting? We actually in the jumpsuit.
I'll tell you in a minute.
That's the secret.
He just wants to get into
I
it,
know,
right? He's
right?
like, just tell me.
Punchline.
Right? He's like, give me the shortcut, Ron.
That's right.
All right. So what happened was we had a seller who had a property, right? And her husband actually went to jail for murder.
Oh.
So now Texas is a combined state. I'm sorry. What's the term?
Community property.
Community property.
Yes.
Right. So that's why I'm not a realtor. So, all right, I'll get thrown out of EXP quick. Ron, community property. What's wrong with you?
That's all right. We got you.
So Texas is a community, and I should know this. I'm married. Shame on me, right? Half of everything I own goes to my wife. So Texas is a community property. Long story short, the husband needed to sign off, and he's in Harris County, getting ready to get transferred to Huntsville. So I've got a time clock now. I've got to either go to Harris County or I got to get in the car and go to Huntsville, and no one can do it because according to the attorneys, I'm the owner of the company and I need to go and see him. I couldn't send an employee there, right? And my employees don't want to go to jail. First of all, they're like, no, Ron, I'm not going through booking. I'm sorry, not booking. I'm not going through metal detectors. And come on, guys, like, let's go.
I would freak out.
Let's get stuff done, right? And I have the mentality of getting stuff done. Long story short, we got the property under contract. Husband needs to sign off at title, and title is saying he's in jail. They found out. We found out through it's called a chain of title. We found out that this individual is in jail. So what we do is we organize a meeting with his lawyer, completely narcos. Like we're just completely like Colombian.
Wow.
We're going in with lawyers and everything. But that was a very big lesson for me because I got to learn.
Not lesson, lemon.
It was a big lemon. It was a big lemon, right? Because I got to learn that it's funny because people who are it's when you marry somebody, you're like, man, that's my best friend in the world, and the next thing you know, you want to go at it, so the wife wanted to split the sofa. She wanted half of the sofa. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. Long story short, we went to jail. We got paperwork signed, but that deal paid me $95,000.
Nice.
Would I go to jail for? Would you go to jail for 90 grand to get paperwork signed?
I'll go to the moon, man.
Okay, Elon Musk. All right, so that
what
deal.
was the actual sale price of that transaction?
It wasn't much actually. It was only about 220,000.
Wow.
We sold it for 3 something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But it was a great deal. I mean,
so you signed it off. How did you convince it?
We had to give him money. So he needed some money. We took it out of the deal. It was originally going to be $100,000 deal. He said he wanted a 10 grand cash. So right? I don't know what he's going to do with it in jail, but apparently you can get a lot of bologna sandwiches for 10 grand. So he wanted that, but long story short, it doesn't matter to me what he wants it for. We gave it to him, right? हमारे उर्दू में नहीं बोलते यार बात निपटा दो यार क्या कर रहा है मैं
Get it done with, yeah.
Like, निपटा दो सुलझा दो जो भी है and the Desi in me came out and I'm like bro what do I need to do to get it done and उसके मुंह से निकल गया 10,000
There you
right
go.
and I'm like you idiot if you would have asked for 20 I would have gave it to you
Yeah.
20.
Sure.
Yeah so he was like 10,000 okay
A done deal.
okay that's all I did I was like okay. Done.
You kept
If I
emotions
give you
back.
10 grand,
Yeah.
you have a lawyer here. Would you sign the paperwork? He signed. We went to title. We closed. We did a notary and all that stuff. So it was a pretty cool deal. But it was an experience. I mean, going to jail to get documents signed is just it'll take the life out of anybody.
I don't know if I would have done it, but hey, that was awesome.
I mean, for 90 grand.
I know, right? Like he said, he'll go
You're
to
talking
the
about
room,
$90,000 here. This is life. This is money that people don't make in a year.
In a year,
Yes.
correct to have. But then you had to have the mindset to be able to do whatever it took
Yeah.
to find the solution for that problem because she was a willing seller. The state law says the husband has to prove that sale.
Yeah.
So you have to go and get him to sign it.
Oh,
But he is-
we've chased down dead people. We've chased down
Wow.
deceased people to the graveyard. I'm telling you, this is fun what we do, but the payout is amazing. Like we've had to go and look at tombstones and verify that person was dead.
Wow.
Oh,
Share with
wow.
us a story where you actually had to walk away from the transaction. We had no choice.
Every transaction.
Every-
Yeah, that's like every story. There are issues in Texas. There's laws protecting people. We've had some instances where people do, they do illegal stuff with their property, and unfortunately you can't undo that stuff. And there was a seller who made a meth house, a methane house. So yeah, it was a drug house. I think it was in 5th Ward or Galena Park. I don't remember. But yeah, we couldn't do nothing with that house, and buyer didn't want it anymore. So we had to cancel that, terminate that contract. But there's a lot of fun stories like
That's
that.
fascinating.
Yeah.
But tell us, I know, Ron, we're running out of time here really quick, but talk to us about your mentorship program. Tell us what you do, how are you teaching everybody this, and where should they find you?
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer of being a knowledge seeker. The number one advice I would tell people, and I never tell people to do something that I wouldn't do, is I sought out a mentor. No matter if it's me or someone else that you're looking into get into this business, even if there's elder viewers, if you want your kids to get started into this business and they're 19, 20 years old, right? They want to learn this business. I have many students, again, who are closing, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on properties, single transactions. Some are making 10 grand, 15 grand, but you have to remember this is a short amount of time that people are doing it. The one thing I did, Smita, was get a mentor. Be a knowledge seeker. One day I was listening to a motivational speaker, you might know him, Amitabh Bachchan, right? Of course, the legend, right?
Who doesn't?
And he was saying, be a seeker of knowledge. And from that day on, I knew I had to consume every single piece of knowledge, right? And you just never know when you're going to share that with the world. So the time that I didn't know I was going to be a mentor, now I'm a mentor, guess what I'm doing? I'm sharing it with the world now. So people can get started into our mentorship program, and we walk you step by step, ethically, legally. We give you contracts, we give you everything that you need in the program, scripts. We teach you exactly how to market for these deals, how to work with realtors. Many of my students are realtors and they're absolutely killing it. Many people come in with no experience at all, and they're doing phenomenal in this business. So I'll give out that number here in a little bit. But if you want viewers to call in about real estate questions, I'd love to answer some questions they have about real estate.
Let's try the number.
Yes, let's do it. Guys, call us at 1-888-749-1035. If you have any questions for Ron, he is right here.
So
Ask
Ron,
your wholesaling
You know,
101. Go ahead.
in the power of education, right? Ek baar jo hai, there was an individual, right? Pablo Picasso. We all know Pablo Picasso, the painter, right? तो वो जो है अपने टूर पे जा रहा था. I'll go completely Urdu for you.
Go for it.
Yes.
I've got spanked already.
Lot
for
of
my
Urdu
English. I've got spanked already for my English, so Urdu is always safe, right?
Yes.
So एक जो है Pablo Picasso जो है वो बैठा हुआ था अपने टूर पे जा रहा था, okay? और एक औरत आई, उसको पूछा कि oh Picasso मैं आपकी बड़ी फैन हूँ, right? आप मुझे एक चीज़ दो जो मुझे ना $1 million बना दे, right? तो उसने जो है कागज़ का टुकड़ा लिया ना, तो उसने he started drawing basically, right? And he said ये लो, ये जो है ना, he said this is worth $1 million. वो हैरान होने लगी औरत, यार 30 सेकंड में इसने $1 million की पेंटिंग बनाई है मेरे लिए, ये क्या हुआ, right? Next day, she tracked him down क्योंकि वो tour पे जा रहा था, right? She tracked him down. उसने बोला उसको पिकासो जो पेंटिंग तुमने मुझे दी थी वो वाकई $1 मिलियन की थी. मैं सो नहीं सकी. मैं गई थी शॉप में, दुकान में. उसने अप्रेस की थी, वो $1 मिलियन की निकली है पेंटिंग. ओके, आप मुझे सिखा दो कि 30 सेकंड में मैं कैसे $1 मिलियन बना सकती हूँ. राइट? तो पिकासो बोलता है मुझे जो 30 साल लगे हैं, मेरे जो 30 साल लगे हैं ना, वो इस 30 सेकंड की पेंटिंग में है. तुम मुझे 30 साल दे दो, मैं तुम्हें दिखा दूंगा कैसे बनाना.
Correct.
That's why you gotta find a mentor.
Yeah.
You gotta take the time. You're not gonna have the time to go out and spend 30 years to learn this business, right? Smart people learn from others' mistakes.
Correct. I think it's all about, whether we like it or hate it. HGTV is a blessing, it's a boon, where people think, oh, I can sell a home just like $1 listings.
Yes.
Walk into the home, here's a kitchen, here's a bathroom, and make a bang. It does not happen like that. That's far from reality.
Yeah.
You have to strive and work hard every day.
It's so funny you mentioned. It's so funny you mentioned HGTV. We were actually getting ready to sign with HGTV, a show in Houston, but the pandemic, COVID hit. So then we weren't able. We were in negotiations for about a year and a half with HGTV. No one knows this. I just told you guys, but we were.
That's it, guys. This is a secret. Please do not tell people.
Yeah. So we're actually back in talks now with HGTV to get our own TV show. Because I love being
incredible.
Yeah. So I'll be the first wholesaler on HGTV showing people how to do this.
That's wonderful.
You gotta grab me before I come a movie star.
Yes.
That's for you today.
The SRK of wholesaling.
So your program that you teach, encourage, mentor people to get in the business, is that a week long, a month long? How long is the program?
Sure. The program is actually, we have 2 sets of programs, but the current program that we're running is a 90-day program, 3 months. Okay, you come into the program. First of all, you have to go through an interview process.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a text line that you're going to you're going to text. Okay, and it's 832 501 3464.
3464.
832-501-3464. Do not send me pictures of your dogs, cats. I don't care about them. But no, if you're serious about getting into this business, and listen, this is not all about money. Yes, we all make great money in this business. There are students who I have helped who are going through financial difficulties, and that's okay. We want to talk to you guys because I didn't have financial backing when I started too. Now, when you say, how do I give back? That's how I give back to the community. I help people start, and we partner with students on deals, and we hold their hand. Okay, there's nobody in this industry that does what I do or my company does. So I'll get you guys hooked up with my director of admissions. We will go through an interview process, and once you're selected, you'll be given an option of what option works best for you. And we'll take you by the hand. And right, nothing works if you don't work.
Yeah.
This is not a guarantee.
Are these in person or online classes?
These are online classes due to COVID, the pandemic. Once again, I don't go out and view these properties anyways before I'm getting them under contract. There's no reason to, you're right. We meet at networking events and stuff like that. But my students that do come into the program are, for example, I've got a student named Gary, came from the car business. His first deal in 2 weeks, he made $18,000. Quit his car business. Last month, he did $120,000.
Incredible. Wow. That's awesome.
So I've got students, I've got massive success stories. My managers are realtors in my company. They're my students. So they learn, and I coach them, and I mentor them. And people who come into our program, we teach people how to do this business.
Talk about you have a program called Coffee and Contracts.
Coffee and Contracts is our networking event. I've been doing that event for over 2 years now.
Okay.
We are just going nationwide as of this month. So we're flying to Tampa for our first ever nationwide tour. We have Atlanta, we have California, we have Austin, we have I think Seattle. I'm doing a whole US tour now of my networking event.
So who can attend these events? Is it just
Anybody.
agents, wholesalers,
No,
buyers?
Contractors, agents, wholesalers. If you have a service you provide to the real estate community, and my events are always 100% free. I always give back to the real estate community. I mean, it costs me to run these events, but I'm not looking at the cost. I'm looking at the benefit. Many people who I've inspired in this industry come up to me and tell me, Ron, I got into this business because I watched your YouTube video, or I've listened to you on a podcast. I've done numerous of these, right? And that's what really pays it off for me, because it's not about how much money I've spent. It's about the impact that I've made for people, and that's what's going to be my legacy.
Absolutely, and there are not very many people who've been on Yahoo Finance. You've been on one of those.
Thank you. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So share with us what's your long-term vision, what's your long-term goal, Ron?
So my long-term goal is to definitely churn out at least 100 mil. So we want to do at least $100 million. We have a bunch of stuff going on with television. We're soon to be. We have that going on. But just coming into this industry, my first goal was to survive. As you grow, remember there's a devil at every level.
Devil at every level. Right?
Remember that, right? No matter what level you go to, there's going to be that devil. The people who are making 50 grand a year have that $100,000 devil, and then when people who are making 50 million a year have that 100 million devil. I sit with people all the time who talk about their shortcomings and stuff like that. So the biggest nugget that I want to give your viewers, if you're scared, I would honestly tell you need to text this line. That is the best thing that could ever happen to you, because you never know when your next pivotal moment is. I was afraid to death when I first started this business, but I needed a mentor to guide me, to coach me, to show me, to sit me down and say, hey, here's what I did. Because remember, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You're just copy and pasting. And that's why my program is one of the most successful in this entire country. That's why a brown guy from A-Leaf is coming in and wrecking stuff, because people are like, holy cow, wow, what is this guy doing? Because when I came into this industry, a lot of people knew me from when I was a DJ. A lot of people knew me, right? So there are a lot of haters still to this day, 100%, right? At the end of the day, but you just got to go out and take action. Text the number, right? And we'll go from there.
Ron, I love it. I think you've really inspired a lot of people out there that are listening. And really, guys, this is as raw as it gets. If you want to get into wholesaling, you want to learn more, you want to get a mentor, please call Ron right now. I hope you got that number. It is 832-501-3464. I'm going to say it slower this time. I think we're going to run out of time very quick, but we're going to take calls next time when we're here. We're going to say a quick goodbye to Ron here, and we will come back before we wrap it up. All right, Ron, thank you so much for being here.
It was a pleasure.
And this was great. Your incredible energy, everything that you talked about wholesaling, you're really inspiring.
Thank you so much.
With Lemonade with the Seth brothers. This is your host, Kunal, with my co-host, Smita Singh over here. We had Ron Rana on the show, who shared about his journey growing up with a single mom, and he had to fend for himself and come on as a successful business owner. He started the car sales business for 10 years. And then he got into wholesaling. You do not have to be licensed realtor to be in wholesaling. You find a property, a distressed property, get it from the seller, and find a buyer for it, and then flip it in that way. Truly, truly incredible. And he shared his number, contact, you gotta reach out to him. But before we took the break, Smita called me out, said something about aim, fire, aim.
I know, I was like, wait, let's do this again. So Kunal, what is it?
So my philosophy in life is, a lot of people evaluate, reevaluate, and second guess what they have to do and when they have to take action. My belief system is you gotta be ready, fire, and then aim. And sometimes you misfire. But when you keep aiming at something, a lot of time the target leaves or you lost the opportunity. So in life you have to be able to fire more frequently, and you'll hit your target one time or the other.
So say yes more often.
Say yes more often.
And get it done.
Correct.
And then you never know. That may be like the biggest thing that's ever happened to you.
Correct.
Or it could be a lemon and you could turn it into a lemonade.
It's funny where about 10 days back or so, sitting down with Rehan Siddiqui, we were chit-chatting about business growth strategy. He said, Kunal, why don't we start a show on radio FM 103.5? I said, absolutely yes. What's the show's gonna be about? I said, Kunal, whatever you want. We put together this concept of Lemonade with the Seth brothers because we all get lemons in our life, which is challenges, downfalls, and we have downfall where we do not want to get up. It's where what you do with these lemons and make lemonade what makes us successful. So our objective, again, like Smita shared early on, is to bring business owners, entrepreneurs, people who have stories to share with you so that you can get inspired and not make the same mistakes. Smita, what were your takeaways today from our show for the first time?
I loved it. I absolutely loved everything that Ron brought to the table. I'll tell you a few things that really, couple of common threads that I want to pull over here with our conversations that we were having before, your story, mine, and Ron's. And I really think that this is something that is a very entrepreneurial mindset, right? something that you said and which he said as well, and I think I had mentioned as well, was about vision. When we start an entrepreneurial business, when we start a business, we want to work on something, we want to work hard towards our vision. We don't want to be boxed in where we feel like, okay, I'm doing all of this hard work for someone else. So I think that's really a key to entrepreneurial mindset, where you want to work towards a vision. Whatever successes or failures or challenges are coming on, you own them. You work hard, you're successful, you own it. You know what, you misfired, it didn't work, you own it. And that is the key to entrepreneurial mindset, is you do it and then you figure it out. And that's also, I felt what he was talking about, another thing, and which was my takeaway, was the growth mindset, right? Where as you're working towards something, you're pivoting. You're figuring out what's working, and you're trying to say, okay, this is working right now, let me try to make this successful, and tweak it. If it's not working, pivot, tweak, and all of that stuff. So I think growth mindset and entrepreneurial mindset, those are the two things that I took away today. What did you take away, Kunal?
I loved Ron Rana's tagline, Log kya kahenge? What will people say? And we are always concerned about being judged, no matter whether you are working, in a relationship, partnership, that I really want to do this, but I should not do it because I want to appease the people around me, family members, friends, or as we say in our culture, society wale kya kahenge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then we have one life, one opportunity. If you stay in a box, confined, appeasing people around you, you're going to be limited in your growth. You got to take the risk. You got to fire, and fire. What's going to happen? You may misfire once, twice, but at least you will not have the regret you never tried
That's right.
to do what you had to do. I know so many people, they go from 9 to 5 and they work every day, day after day, week after week, and they crib and complain every day. They hate their jobs and they don't want to do it, yet they go back at it again and again and again because they are risk averse.
Right.
They said, if I quit my job, what am I going to do? And they may be single, they may not have no family or kids, but they want to have safety cushion. You got to take the safety net off. If you made it so far from your home country, whether you're from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Southeast Asia, it's a radio station, that's what I'm talking this way, you made it all this way over here. Take the safety net off. Take the risk today. This is a country of opportunity. Here's why when you have a dream, those dreams come true in America. This country was built by immigrants, people like you and me and like Smita over here. And it may be built 5 or 10 generations back. But there's something about this country that allows us to follow our dreams. If you live in the 9 to 5 box, you're gonna be confined in your growth. So this was our story. These lemons we shared with you today. We are inspired to bring more stories, more people on this show on a weekly basis. Every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. We have plans of inviting top hitters, influencers, and
Yep,
failures
lot of
in the
influencers.
market. People who have had a lot of failures in the market. That's where we learn from them. So those lemons that were thrown at them, they don't come back our way.
Right, and I'm looking at it, like I said, this is going to be your candid happy hour with your lemonade, where you not only talk about failures and what people are doing, but have raw conversations, right? Take back with you tomorrow, make a change. Like he said, fire, do something, say yes to something tomorrow. And guys, next time call us at 1-888-749-1035 and tell us what you said yes to after listening to our conversation.
Guys, that was Lemonade with the Seth brothers. It was great having Smith on the show, co-host.
Yeah,
Great partnership
we
over
did
here.
this.
But guys, tune in next Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. I'm gonna squeeze some lemons out of some lemonade. Actually, squeeze some lemonade out of some lemons. Guys, thank you very much for joining us.
Have
See you
a
guys
great
next
night.
Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time.
Thank you. Bye.